You're on globaltvtalkshow.com, and thank you for being here again. Our very special guest today is Birgit Heidenreich. Did I pronounce that right?
You did quite well. Thank you.
Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so welcome. And you are from the Munich, Bavaria area, right?
Right, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And what's the name of your company?
My company is Birgit Heidenreich Business Consulting, and my website is Freelance Mentor Me.
Freelancementor.me?
Yeah, .me, right.
Me. That's cool. And so, but you don't just deal with expats, you deal with different people, right?
Right. So I'm a business consultant from Germany, and I'm also the founder of the Expat Business Club. For now, we are only in Germany, but maybe we will extend to other countries as well. But I'm also offering my service as a business consultant in general to freelancers all over the world. They want to get a successful business, because I know it's complicated starting as a freelancer, and the first intention is just, I need to get some clients and then everything will be good. And most people miss the first step, that they create a strategy. And that's where I jump in and support my clients.
So a freelancer is like slang for being self-employed and president of me.
Right. That's a synonym to I decide what has to be done, and in the afternoon I do it myself.
DIY, do it yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm making notes here. The old-fashioned way. Writing them down. Yeah. Everything goes right back. So, okay. So, it's been 31 months since I've launched globaltvtalkshow.com, because our live conference business, which was profitable across 25 years with more than 350 events, which means providing some kind of training, education, and networking in one place or another, but none of them were recorded.
Wow.
Crazy. How come? So much work went into doing every single meeting, and the people all had to get all dressed up, and they had to travel somewhere, and they had to come into a room, and nobody thought about getting sick from having breathing contact with other people in the room. But they did it. And our last two live meetings occurred in 2020, February 25 and February 27. Quickly, Feb 25 was in New York City in Times Square, inside the accounting offices of a tax firm. And my keynote speaker, this event that I produced, was the head of HR for the magazine publisher Condé Nast. And you know, they produce Vogue and some other things. Okay. And we were sold out. It was great. And nobody wore a mask. Nobody had any idea of what was coming 3 weeks later. And then the last meeting that we did was 2 days later, February 27, down in Washington, D.C. And we were fortunate to produce this meeting on Embassy Row, which is the area where all the international embassies are located, usually in mansions or really fancy places. And so we were able to produce our meeting on Feb 27 inside the historic home of former US President Woodrow Wilson. The beautiful home. And now it's a museum. And so we rented space within there, and we were sold out. We had people from embassies, we had people from NGOs, and we had some corporate people and a whole bunch of services providers. And everybody was close together, and nothing ever happened. It was a great meeting. But then I flew back from Washington across the US to San Diego, which is about a 6-hour flight.
Mhm.
And I have to tell you that I think there was one other passenger on that whole plane,
Wow.
plus me. And so the flight attendants gave us all the drinks we wanted.
Good for you.
But we knew something weird and bad was about to happen because 2 days later, everything shut down.
Yeah.
And then I decided, now what? 25 years of successful business finished. So consequently, we started globaltvtalkshows.com. And so we've been able to produce almost 500 broadcasts. And Google Analytics has measured the audience visits at 183,000
Wow.
from over 100 countries. And very quickly, it's about 70% is US, Canada, Latin America, South America. About 20% Europe, this vast area called Europe, and about 9% Asia Pacific, which includes China and India and Australia and everything else. And China is more than 60% of that little quotient.
Wow.
Yeah, it's mostly Hong Kong and Shanghai. Yeah, it's business to business. And so that's who we're talking with today, July 21, 2022. And we hope the pandemic is over, but it doesn't seem to want to quit. So we're going to continue with Global TV talk shows, and we're expanding quickly. And we'll be doing area focus TV talk show interviews in close to 50 places between now and New Year's. All right. And so that includes Japan, Korea, South Korea, Taipei, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, India, wherever we can find people willing to talk with us. And so we want to grow our audience, and we want people to learn that being a freelancer or being an independent operator, delivering a service because they're working from home independently, or they're working from someplace and they're delivering a product or a service for somebody else. In other words, they're a freelancer, but maybe not 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So when you reach people today, are they in a room somewhere in Bavaria, or are they all sitting as
that
nomads?
I think it will not come back, and I'm okay with that. So I'm in a similar situation than you. My last events, they were in February 2020. And I remember one of my last events was in the bar of Hilton in Munich. And we had a get together. It was a casual networking event for people they are interested to start a business in Germany. So, and we had a lot of good conversations, and just 2-3 weeks later, everything changed. And I was in the situation like you. I had to find a new solution. So what can I do? How can I continue with the service I'm offering? I had a lot of in-person meetings with my clients. They showed up in my office, and I was offering workshops and courses for people. They want to start, but they are not in a position to hire a consultant and pay on an hourly rate. So for that reason, I said, okay, let's create small groups to make it affordable for everybody, right? And then from one second to another, in Germany was no longer allowed to meet people. So everybody had to stood at home, and it was quite complex. And it was a big challenge for me to decide, first of all, the decision, how would I like to continue? And then in the second step, how to make it happen. Because honestly, when you are not earning a lot of money, because everybody is afraid, everybody's at home, nobody knows how life will continue, not many people want to start a business. And if they already run a business, they are in the same situation. They are not earning any money, so they can't spend money. In the same situation so I had to figure out, how can I make it happen? And can I make it happen myself? Or do I need to pay someone to help me with all the technical things? I'm very good in business administration. I'm brilliant in taking strategic decisions and going deep and diving deep, thinking about things. But honestly, I'm not a techie. I don't know how to set up a business website or an online shop. Now I do, but before I didn't. So, and it was quite challenging. And it took me a long time. And I was frustrated because, like, of course, the situation was serious, but it was not serious, not just serious on health reasons. It was also serious for the future, and not just me. There were so many people affected, and I wanted to continue offering my service and also helping people. And I really like what you do, and I try to do it in a similar way. You support business owners to get visibility in that difficult times. And as I started to offering all online courses, the first thing, or online events, was more like having a networking event. So the first months I did weekly networking events, twice, one in German and one in English. Not like getting visibility, just backing people up, because so many people stuck alone at home and they had to deal with that. And not everybody was fine. And so the first intention was just giving them space and opportunity to share their feelings, their experiences, finding others there in the same position. Because especially as an expat and a new freelancer or fresh founder of a startup, and then you have to deal with no income, no future plans, that's exhausting. So that's what I did, and I changed a lot, and now I'm very happy. And coming back to your question, it gave me a lot of opportunities, but that's something you realize later on. So before, my market was Munich. Now my market is, for the Expert Business Club, is completely Germany, and supporting freelancers, it is worldwide. So I do have clients from Latin America. I have clients from Canada and the United States, but also from Africa and from Asia. And that wouldn't have been possible before COVID, because I would not even think about it. So
and the global people are more able or willing and understanding that they have to pay.
It's not that they are more understanding, but it changed. So the first months, I think all over the world, everybody was like in a shock, and nobody wanted to spend money, because if you don't know how life goes on, you will not invest. Right. And in general now, also in Germany, it changed. So people understand that we have to deal with COVID, that it's something we will have to deal maybe the next years. You said hopefully it's done. Regarding the German government, it's not, because they are already talking about the further steps we have to take in autumn. So people know that we have to find a solution. And I guess they are in the same situation than you and me. They realize there is another chance. You just need to understand, and you just need to adapt. And that's a general thing. The market is on the move, so should be your business. So not just because of COVID, in general, the market changed. People do have different needs, and you always have to optimize and change your business model to be the solution for a problem. Because if you're not the solution for an existing problem, you will not sell your service. Nobody buys anything they don't need.
Do you understand that out there, audience? I hope you're taking notes. I just took notes.
Yeah.
Be a solution to a problem. Birgit, how do people get in touch with you?
Differently. So most of the time, through recommendations, I do the online events. So as I published them on Facebook in several groups, people realize that there's something, and there's somebody offering, a networking event for a freelancer. So it's more informal. And then they realize, oh, that's cool. That's good what she's doing. That's interesting what she says. So Maybe I should talk to her. And what I always do, I'm offering a free consultation session because I know it's complicated spending money on a consultation if you have never spoken to somebody about your situation in person, right? So yeah, that's what I do.
What's the website again?
It's freelancementor.me.
I'm writing this down right now, and I think everyone out there should do this. Freelance what? Mentor?
Mentor.me.
Freelance mentor, all one word,
Yes.
.me. Birgit, wow. Okay, so what are you going to be doing the next 30 days or so, leading up to 1 September, which is usually the start of the business season again? Not that we're not doing business today, but it's really, people are just sort of waiting for September 1 and hoping it doesn't come so fast.
So what I'm doing, as you said, it's the slower season. People are on vacation. They're spending time with family and friends, so that's cool. And I try to get prepared. So Monday I do have a consultation with a marketing expert. Because as I said, I'm really good in taking strategic decisions. I love to dive deep, but I'm not a marketing pro. So I'll hire someone and yeah, we will talk about the options. We will see if there is a match, if we have the same ideas. And if so, we will talk in the second step about a strategy. That's things like that. So getting prepared for the business again.
So I want to invite you to consider, and I know this is public here, but I had come up with this idea a few months ago about starting again live conferences and traveling from here in San Diego, California to London and do a meeting, and then take the channel across into Paris, and then doing a meeting the next day. And then the next day, taking the TGV across to Geneva and doing a meeting there, and then taking a day to breathe, and then taking the intercity train from Geneva around to Milan, and then doing a meeting there. And then after that, escaping south to Sicily for wine and olives. But
is that a hidden invitation? I can hear it.
So I'm not going to do it.
You're not.
I'm going to do it virtual.
Okay.
So I've already begun booking because it's so easy. Believe me, I'd like to go to all those places and meet up with people, because I was going to do a VIP, and someday I will. Now, VIP means virtual and in person.
Okay.
Another word is hybrid.
Yeah.
So we would, in London, we're going to be in this hotel meeting room, and we're going to limit it to 25, 30 people, including me, and they'd have to pay an admission fee, of course. And we try to find some sponsors, and the sponsors can speak. And then we're going to have some people not only in the room get up and speak, but everyone will have their laptop open or their iPhone or whatever, and we'll do Zoom so that people can watch it in India or in California, and not just limited to that meeting room at that moment in London. That's a great idea, right? And so we're talking with different people, and then all of a sudden the war's getting crazy in Ukraine, and then Putin saying he's going to shut off gas and people are going to freeze and get sick. And then people start worrying about COVID again. And so I said, this is nuts. And so I'm not going to go, but I will set up meetings. So we've already started to set up. So September 1, we're launching in Scandinavia. And we already have some people from that region who will be virtual with me. And then,
Sounds
uh,
interesting.
yeah, and then October 3, we're going to do London
Mhm.
in their afternoon, say their 3 p.m., which is be my 7 a.m. here. All right. And I already have 4 or 5 speakers lined up, all virtual, who will be in London. And then I'm planning on doing October 4 in the afternoon in Paris, and then October 5 in the afternoon in Geneva. Although because it's virtual, it'll be throughout Switzerland. Why not? And then we'll do Italy with a Milan focus. So I thought maybe we should do Bavaria,
Yeah,
Germany,
let's do
somewhere
it.
in September,
Mhm.
um, if not earlier. But probably September is better, where we'll do a virtual conference. And I invite you to be involved. And perhaps you
Amazing.
know of others who might like to be involved also, because you know people who I don't know. And so I very much would welcome you to consider helping me and to be a speaker. And hey, if you got any money, be a sponsor. But even if you don't, we still welcome you because this costs practically nothing. I'm just trying to pay some bills. That's all.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have a friend who's now in Hamburg.
Okay.
She's originally from that area, but has
Uh-huh.
been in the US for 20 years. Uh,
I
uh,
think I know from whom you're talking.
Dr. Natalie.
Mhm.
Yes, I introduced you to.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know her.
So she and I have stayed in touch. So she's there with her daughter and visiting relatives, and she found it to be a better place for raising her teenage daughter
Mhm. She
in
told
that
me.
kind of an environment. So Dr. Natalie and I just had a TV talk show last week, and
Oh, cool.
she's introduced me to some other people who
Mhm.
I have since been in touch with, and now we're building faculty for all these meetings. Now, I also have set up um, a meeting, virtual in Tokyo,
Mhm.
and beginning to set up um, New Zealand and Australia, and beginning to set up Singapore. And I'm trying to get Hong Kong started and Shanghai, but it's kind of difficult. So um, it's cool. And tomorrow I have a talk show in, well, it's going to be based in Mexico City,
Uh-huh.
where we have a corporate manager of people, and we have a lawyer, Mexico City. And then also on the program, I'm going to have a Canadian from Toronto, and also uh, a, a, a senior HR leader from a big pharmaceutical who's now retired, but he's doing consulting for them. So all on the show about Latin America, the influence of
Interesting.
people development in Mexico and Latin America uh, in the new economy. Yeah, so that's tomorrow. So I'm really super excited about doing all this because it's bringing me in touch with and bringing people together from across time and space. And here we are. And it's just wonderful to have this relationship with you. And I thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. So for me, it's the same with my networking events. We have people from Texas joining, from Chile, from Venezuela, from Asia, from Singapore. We have always a guy from Singapore, and it's so amazing because as I started, it was for expats in Germany. And then, of course, when you publish that on an expat group, and on Facebook, for example, there are people, they are not in Germany already. They want to come one day, but they're not. And so they started to join because they were very interested to talk to people they already made the step and wanted to get feedback and maybe also some tips. And now it's like people recommend it and say like, yeah, show up there. It's so cool. It's so interesting because you get new insights. And it's yeah, it's mind-blowing. I really love it, and it's the same. So we are international, and it's always interesting. I was hosting the event some days ago, and you never know who will show up, and it's so cool to see that people love the event all over, and that they're recommending that and inviting others and say, like, just give it a try, you will love it. And yeah, it's cool. I totally understand what you mean.
Birgit, thank you very much for being on Global TV Talk
Thank
Show.com.
you.
And I'll be back to you with information about the
Great.
Germany idea.
Perfect.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to it. Have a good afternoon.
Have a nice
Bye.
day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.